basically known with such a large tournament here, such as the ESL Pro League conference coming up, that they likely would end up here at some point. Well, kicking things off on the CT side as well. They're going to pick up nades on Jitter. Other than that, though, it's going to be Kevlar on everyone else. And has Chop got another ace to deliver for us? That's the question.
Well, you might need to see it. Well, that's a good start. King of Pistols so far. It's one, but it's at least it's how you're supposed to start an ace. Guy getting the first kill. A very nice opening kill. You still will get Walker though, and that will end the idea of that. But it's still going to be a 4 versus 4 to work with. Ricky does have that P250, of course. He doesn't have a Kevlar. He hasn't been boosted up with that Kevlar, but he does. Has been the player to buy up the smoke and the flash as well. A couple of flashes on Gyro as well to try and get themselves into the site. They're going to work their way up short, and Gyro's going to be the lurk toward long. Could catch Hexed, but he's got a teammate to hold that long position to try and hold it. And actually going to make their way up Cat right now with a minute on the clock, so pretty quick about this one in the end. And they're going to absolutely destroy Hex. Surely now the lurk can come in from Gyro. Chop has to check it. He does, and it's a really good find. Now in the afterplant, there's a chance.
Yeah, unfortunately the ace won't be happening for Chop, but all they care about right now is making sure this pistol round goes in their favor, and it's not going to be easy to make happen. As you can see, Ustillo seems to want to have quite a bit to say about this still. Oh. The problem being, though, he had quite a bit of time on the clock and didn't really want to just hide away. Was hoping to catch one of those players before they get the initial tap in on the bomb itself, and well, it was well handled, as you see in there, with the elevation up on top of the bomb site itself for Jitter to take the peek, and he comes in with a fantastic 3k on the retake. Sweeps it all up on his own. A good start from Chop in the round as well. That helped them out, and we get another pistol round that goes the way of RBG. They kick things off on a positive note as well, back on Overpass, going up 4-0 for anyone who wasn't there. And they lost 14 rounds in a row. We're at one point facing a 4-14 score. So that turned around pretty fast. So I wouldn't get your hopes up too high. For me here, I want to see RBG ensuring that they can, first of all, overcome this force buy, but then also ideally have a good start on that gun round as well. Nice shot by Wiz, though.
Good start, but that is a good find. I mean, that's the M4, one of the M4s to go down, right? So Balance has really taken him down. And of course, we speak about it so often, right? I mean, we've seen those VTs beforehand with the pros in this event talking about the changes to the A1S, the changes to the Deagle, and the way that you can drop utility. I'd be interested to hear their views on what they think about being able to buy rifles in the second round after a T-bomb plant as well. I think it's one that they probably wouldn't like too much. That's probably the next thing I'd like to see adjusted by Valve, to be honest. It always makes these buys so powerful. But if a CT side can beat it out, then it really does give you a shot. We have got a 4 vs 3 to work with Valiance only on 7 HP.
That's not going to be helping them out. The numbers and the health working against them. Rifles at least they're in play to try and snatch something up as they move in. It is only MP9s here on the bomb site, in fairness. X, though, tucked away. Is this going to be expected? No, not quite. He deals with Ustillo. A little bit of a late follow-up then as well from Valiance. Being on low health, he's got to be careful. One bullet would be more than enough to take him out. They've also got a player here pushing through the CT smoke that I don't think they're being too cautious of, and, well, he's not even needed in the end. It's actually just the MP9 of Walco to clean it up instead, which is probably what you want, the extra money being added to the bank. A force buy overcome. RBG, they drop obviously a little bit in it, but are able to keep the round clean enough. Rather, they can get the couple drops in, and now as long as they can take this round as well without dropping another couple of players, they should be building that economy up into a decent position going into the first gun round. Some nades here though, at least for order.
Yeah, something to work with at least. A reminder that this is the lower bracket, so whoever loses is out, and whoever wins will go through to playing its LDLC later on today. So it's a big deal, and actually Hex has to help out his teammate there. Trying to fall back toward the corner, and only just gets away without being headshot by one of those P250s and Glocks as well. Look where Wiz is already. Pushed up top mid. He could have 3 free kills on the plate here. There's 1, there's 2. Looking for the last. He still only has the Glock, and he gets all 3. So a nice bit of anti-eco farming for him, and it does mean they survive with all 5 players alive too. So on this first round coming in, it will mean they'll have a buy left over as well if it goes awry. This is the start they needed, and of course, starting on the CT side, as it is Order's pick, might be a bit of an advantage, as we all know the changes to Dust2 and what they've done to make it a little bit more favourable for CTs. To see how it plays out, of course. We said we could be in a position again where RBG get the first few rounds and lose 10 plus in a row. So hopefully not for their sake.
Seen some aggression from Walco here, but there's no one on order at the moment in a position there to actually go ahead and spot it or anything. Instead, 3 of them probing around B. I was going to say it doesn't look like they're really going to be immediately committing, considering the 2 players back outside of long still. And indeed, despite getting that opening pick, they decide they just want to fall off. They want to slow things down and just try and utilize this early advantage now. It's the pressure that's mounted on RBG being in the 4-on-5. I thought that was a HE. Would have done some decent damage onto the Jira most likely. But instead it was the molly in a little bit deeper. It'll keep his teammate at bay for a couple of seconds, but there's still a minute on that clock, so I don't think Order are going to be too worried about the time as of yet. This could be awkward though. I think he's dropping the smoke down, so that should at least cover things off to make sure the op won't get too much vision. But Walco, he stuck around, he never fell back off him short. There's a molly now behind him though that stops the escape, so he's only good for the 1 kill before the trade is there from Vexite. But there was at least a dink connected.
That's something, yeah. That was a pretty good dink, to be honest, considering the situation he found himself in. Vexite will right-click his Molotov, but I don't think that goes as intended. But look where Wiz is. He's made his way through mid. He's behind the player on towards short, and should realise it's going to be a B play in the end. Vexite's going to stick around, though. And the problem is that Order have taken B overall. There was no one really here to defend the site in its entirety. And they will be able to get the bomb planted pretty comfortably in a 4v3 as well. So already we're thinking about a save probably here. Hex gets that 1 kill. And with Wiz's position, maybe they can consider it. They have defuse kits and they have money. What's the call? I mean, they're already running away with that AWP. So I think they're calling it off. Yeah, they are. That's unfortunate. I can understand why, especially with the AWP in tow. If they had a bit more utility, perhaps in the area, not just that 1 smoke, maybe they would have given it a go. But they're going to let Order get off the board. And that is... in the end, a decent play, mostly from Vexite, to grab that quick trade towards short, because if Walco managed to get away, then it probably wouldn't have been as easy as that to get onto the B-bomb site.
At least you have the 3 weapons being saved over, so that easily allows for the buy to come right back in from RBG, and I think that's kind of maybe a small reaction to how things went after losing just 1 round back on Overpass. As soon as they lost that first round, obviously things just completely spiraled out of control. So I think in this case, they just want to make sure, yeah, okay, cool, we're losing this round, but let's save over, let's get our ops back in, let's make sure we have a really, really good buy, and we don't let that happen again, that we can just fire back straight away. Because losing 14 rounds in a row again would not be ideal. Well, molly over though, I like that. It's going to stop any aggression in towards the lower tunnels. I think it maybe could have went through if it wanted to and just about avoided the flames, but it would have stopped follow-up aggression. It's long instead though, where the actual fights come in, and Walco and Shop managing to take 1 each, a couple of smokes down as well, a molly then in front of that. It stops anyone else from even considering a follow-up. So a 5-on-3 early on in favour of RBG. And well, eventually, actually, they do want to send Vexite out, but through a smoke, it's not a good idea, as you can see.
Yeah, there's no way you're going to get anything done with that. It blinds 1 player, but when there's 3 in position, you're not going to get away with much in that one. It's a 5 versus 2 for RBG to work with. That round could have gone incredibly differently if Ustillo got that entry. Bit of a whiffy one from him, and even Wiz will get out-peaked at least to a middle. So that's something to work with. 2v4, I mean, if Jitter misses this shot, Jara could get an entry, but he's not looking the right way. Actually manages to take down Walco before Jitter takes him down, and he'll be saying to his teammate, "You let me die, bro! Come on." But it's fine. It's going to be a 3 versus 1. Ricky towards short. His position is now known. He's going to go really aggressive and drop down towards CT. That might not be prepared for, or be prepared for, by Jitter. But I think they realise now. Actually, no, they don't. Jitter didn't look for it at all. And I think Ricky just spotted the backpack or the back of his leg there. And he could actually creep off toward B and get a bomb plant. They have absolutely no idea that Ricky's crept away here. 200 IQ from Ricky. They're obviously not going to know the bomb plant's not toward A, so they're going to be confused. How on earth has he got to B? With short covered and CT technically covered. But he managed to slip in between, and now he can go for the jewels, but unfortunately he's not making it happen. Can play next to this smoke, possibly get 1 before he goes down, but they're going to group up here. A good jump across as well. They're going to pounce on his position and take him down. So a bit of a big brain play from Ricky, but unfortunately couldn't hit the shots required. And RBG will defuse the bomb and survive with 3 players alive.
Yeah, when it's just taking your hands a little bit little bit too long to catch up to your brain, I think was the play there for Ricky. Big brain play, but he just couldn't land the shots quite. It is unfortunate, a couple chances, but again, he gets that bomb planted. At least he gives them some good extra money and almost gives them enough to buy on everyone. Not quite, though. Almost is the most important word there, because Valiance and Ustillo are both both still a little bit low, rather. So they might even consider an eco, but I feel like maybe a couple of Galils also is the other option. They're definitely talking about it with that pause coming in. I like that we're seeing these tactical pauses being used as well. I don't think we've seen over the last couple of days. I don't think we've seen any team max out their pauses, though. Surprisingly,
no, that's true. I mean, we always save one for overtime just in case, right? Yeah, usually. I'd sort of like to see. I'm not sure if this is a thing that other events do, but I would like to see if we do get to an overtime, teams are allowed one more timeout, right, per side. I think that would be. It would break up the play quite a lot, but I think it's something that would be nice to see. We see it in other sports as well. By the way, I just want to pick up on that Molotov again.
Worked, I'm not going to lie.
Really?
I swear I've maybe done multiple tournaments where that's how it works.
Maybe it is. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm completely forgetting. But firstly, I'll make a point of Jitter's nice pick toward Ricky. AWP versus AWP, getting that opening frag. And we've got a player in pit, so that's something, but it will be a 5 versus 4, and Walko will catch Ustillo. Aggression toward the top of mid, and that's actually something that I was going to pinpoint on, which I will do once these frags stop coming in. Valiance will at least trade one. Vexite is here on the angle, and it's a bit surprising that he's going to be there, and actually somehow on the spray transfer gets whizzed before he tries to go for Hexed. That is pretty remarkable. It keeps them in the round, but still 3 versus 2. Both players toward long. Hex is playing around the site right now. It's a bit dangerous to be there. The right-click smoke will come in. Hex realizes it, and I think they must know he's behind this smoke. It's going to be pretty clear for him. Gyro at least trades it. But now a 1 versus 3 in total that he would need. Tries to use the Molotov to get some smoke to plume off of it, to jump across, as that gap was pretty big for CT. And he actually will catch the first toward Jitter. What a pick that is from Gyra. It's now all down to Chop in a 1 versus 1. He does have utility and he does have a kit, but right now he's being silent about his play. Will Gyra win out a big clutch for his team? He's going to make it happen. That's one that RBG won't want to look back on, or to make their way up to 2. And I haven't even got a chance to make my point yet. Dean, take it away for a bit.
Yeah, it was a bit unfortunate. He didn't reach the up there in the end, but I don't think he'll be kicking himself too much because, as you said, that was a fantastic clutch. It was one they needed so badly. And while it doesn't completely break the economy of RBG, it puts them on the brink of it. This round, if it goes south for RBG, it allows Order to tie things up again. 4-4 likely at that point. And I mean, we've seen what happened in the previous map when Order got things going. Once RBG were on 4, it kept on going for them then afterwards. Quick long play, though. Nice entry by Vexite. This is an issue, though, as you can see, for Valiance. He got blinded up completely. That's an AK now in the hands of Walko. He's gotten himself a second. They need to swing it together and confirm he can't get any more. And indeed, it's Ricky who will eventually deal with that threat. That should be an upgrade back to the AK as well for one of them. As a 3-on-3 comes out now, they can slow things down if they want with a ton of time on the clock. But as you can see, Ustillo walking out onto B, thinks it's clear. The problem being, as you can see, Chop has gone through lower tunnels to cut off in towards the tunnels itself. I mean, this could really work out either way. If Ustillo goes crazy and decides to start lurking out mid, he could maybe even catch the rotator coming through CT because they'd have no idea that that's happening. And now that Chop started moving around through the spawn, he himself could be caught by the T is moving back as well if they're being even semi-cautious. So this is going to be an awkward one. It really could go either way. It comes down to what Chop can get done.
It is so weird, as you say. He's going to catch the heads. That's got information. But will he fall back? He does. What a choice. And now his position will be known because that flash has come in. But it actually delays them even further. And they're not sure how close he is. So they're going to have to spend time clearing these angles. Ustillo will finally be activated because of that information. Great play from Ustillo. He gets the 1, but that drops the bomb. Critical trade from Ricky. He can now try and get that bomb off toward that B site. Jitter has another chance. And a clutch now, and 1 versus 2 this time. They will be able to get this bomb planted in decent time as well. Ricky has a Molotov for the after plant, so he's going to be okay. That was tight, though, as you say. Chop doing great work to make that clock go a little bit lower, but unfortunately it might not be enough. The big clutch from Gyro in the previous round really setting Order up to break the economy now of RBG. If Jitter can't win this one out, he's going to have to wait out the Molotov, creep through now. Ricky's looking toward window, but he is hidden in that position. Might have a chance to look toward Car quickly, but Ustilo was obviously going to look for it. But no, Jitter picks it first, and now he has an idea where Ricky could be playing from. Spots it out. Big clutch. Couple of clutches in a row now from both these two teams. This time it's Jitter to win it out. And that will hopefully just have the defuse in time as well. 5-2. Goodness me, what a round.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. Chop only ends up obviously getting the 1 kill, but he also wasted like maybe, what, 30 seconds as those players were trying to get back through the spawn, and then you have Jitter step up big time for the clutch. A couple rounds in a row where clutches are necessary for the teams to take their wins, but it's back and forth, and, well, for now, seems to be working in RBG's favour, as the money isn't quite there for the buy to come in from Order. Could get a couple rifles, I mean, could then pull out a couple Galils as well behind those AKs, but I don't think it would be too worthwhile. I'd expect the half investment maybe to come in, maybe not. Hang on, I think I've been shut up real quick. Indeed, 3 Galils already being pulled out. Valiance was one of the players who could get an AK as well, so he decides against that in order to get the full set of nades. And then it's only Ricky who goes for the AK, so it's quite limited, as you can see, but it's a buy that you can definitely make work, and they know that the economy on the RBG side is still incredibly weak, so if they can just win out this one round, a second round very likely comes off the back of it, maybe even another one if the force play comes true.
That's what made the decision for them, right? Knowing that they lost that previous round, but RBG only won it with 1 player left alive, so it's what makes the call. As you say, very limited util, but at least they have 4 rifles, or 5 rifles, sorry, with 4 Galils. It's close toward middle. Might be a fast mid play would be the order of the day, and that might be what they go for. Gyra takes Wiz down, getting caught off with that scout there. Of course, no money for the AWP, and there's no way that Walco can get any from that position when Vexat just runs through that Molotov, catching him off guard. It's now all down to Jitter. Can he be heroic again on the B side? Gets himself 2, but he's going to need more than that. Finally, I say finally, he doesn't get taken down. He gets a 3rd. It's actually Valiance to deal with Chop in the meantime. So they can now group up together. They know where he is, but the bomb is basically in no man's land next to the doors. Surely they'll realize they've done so much damage to Jitter that they can take this one together. But with Valiant's 5 HP, they have to be uber careful about it. Jitter needs an ace to clutch this one out. He's sitting in the same spot. Wouldn't it be remarkable if he gets an ace from that position? But no, in the end, the low HP of Valiance does hit the most important shot, and Order get their 3rd. Nice try from Jitter. Up to 10-3 now.
All right, and it swings back the other way once again. As I said, that's going to ruin RBG. Now they're on a force buy. If this force buy is dealt with by Order, then very likely an eco allows them to tie it up at 5-5. Looks like we're getting a more competitive day of matchups here. We only get one matchup for ourselves before we pass over to Jay and Dweg once again, obviously, since we covered the entire first day as well ourselves.
Yep.
But I'm sure the games will live up to the hype for sure. As I was saying, there's still a potential if Order get through the win here, and if Renegades manage to take their win, that we could have them match up against each other in an elimination match in this lower bracket, which would be very exciting, and I'm sure kind of painful for some of the Aussies at the same time.
For sure. Yeah, that would be a nutty game if we actually got it. Wiz is up close to a top middle here. He's only got the USP. He's saving money for the future AWP, of course. Does get the dink at least. Toward Valiance anyway. Not toward Gyra. But it should be an easy round for Order. I say that, of course, the damage done means they have to be extra careful because there's a 5-7, a Deagle. The combination of that with the MP9 and the Scout can be really hard to deal with. Especially with the fast movement, of course, of the Scout and the pistols. They're actually closing in as well. Hex is coming in toward top mid. There's a 5-7, of course, of Walco coming in from T-spawn. Valiance is looking for it, but what's the timing going to be like? The Molotov is going to be decently timed, but he can peek ahead of it, and he even gets himself a 2nd as well. Gyra, oh my goodness, how much damage is Hex doing here? That's incredible. Ricky takes down Chop on the site, though, and that's a big one to find. More damage done, but it activates the 5-7 of Walco to come in. He was always that insurance policy. Now it's all Ricky. He should easily be able to find Walco. He does. Now he has 22 seconds to try and get this bomb toward the site. It is Jitter remaining once again. Can he show some heroics in this situation? He's had 2 in the previous round, basically. 10 kills on the board already. Ricky can make his way toward the site. Only 7 seconds to go, though, and Jitter's going to catch him off, surely. It's going to be an easy tap in the head. And, of course, it's the force buy in return. What a round, once again, from these two sides. We're starting to see the barn burner we expected.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, Honestly, though, it's going to give RBG the opportunity to start running away with the scoreline here a little bit. That was Order's chance to get things evened up and then to maybe start having a chance to get getting a lead going. But yeah, that hasn't really worked out for them now. Torn apart on that long push, and RBG able to make the force buy work now in the much better position. It's a pretty similar force buy here that Order have, with only pistols and a few nades behind that and the Kevlar then to back it up. So this isn't looking too good for the Aussies. T-side's been kind of rough in general. We haven't seen very much aggression from RBG. That's one thing I want to note, because obviously in EU we see a lot more aggression now since the switch up on Suicide. On that CT side it is.
Yeah, I like that. But that actually brings me to the point that I wanted to make earlier before this run of insane rounds we've had the pleasure to cast. That Molotov we saw from Order, right? The jump throw Molotov over that wall they added to Suicide to stop players on the CT side pushing toward lower. I really did like that. It's one I actually haven't seen too often, to be honest. At least in the plenty of EU games that I've watched. It probably has been used multiple times, but it's an idea, that's for sure, to stop that push coming in. Shoulder peeking coming in as well to try and force his player away from mid, but unfortunately the MP9 will get one and it will activate Jitter to do even more. There are even 2 players on the site to make this a bit of an insurance policy too. Chop gets 2. That's all down to Vexite. Looking for a second, would have been nice. Could have possibly afforded him a bomb plant if he got that second, but not to be. And RBG will make their way up to 7. Looking good now. It's almost a carbon copy of the first map as well. It being a switch around, of course, with RBG this time being the one to be ahead pretty significantly on their opponent team's map pick.
Yeah, showing that perhaps it's just the Brazilians that are their kryptonite here on Dust2. Having a look at the stats again. Bit of aggression there. As I said, we weren't really seeing too much through these mid doors so far. They considered it for a couple of seconds before thinking, yeah, maybe we shouldn't. There's not really much being done here. They're probably just grouping outside one of these bomb sites. Let's not send 2 of our players out of position, leaving one of the bomb sites potentially a bit weaker. That nade, not really doing too much damage considering they don't have the Kevlar. I don't expect a lot to be done here from Order, if I'm being honest. Obviously, they get the first kill as I say that. Jitter's going to get dinked up pretty heavily. Not able to spray down the 2 of them as he gets overwhelmed. And, okay, I mean, they don't get the weapons, so they're still just stuck on Glocks with low health. So I don't expect the round will win still, rather, from Order, but it's getting a bit too dangerous for my liking. And, well, Walco, I think, is going to have to step up to go ahead and neutralize the threat. It's Ustillo, who again gets another kill to just make it so costly. That should not have been as costly as it was. It's given Order a good opportunity now, if they win out this gun round, to maybe break the economy. In the case of a couple players, at least they will do so.
Yeah, well, they only survived with 2 alive, right? Yeah, they only survived with 2 alive. So if it was 3, the majority, that's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, that damage with just mostly Glocks, to be honest. I mean, it's put Wiz down to his AWP, right? But it's a glass cannon. So, honestly, that was a lot better of a round for Order than it was for RBG. And it was RBG to win it. That's what Counter-Strike can be like sometimes. A good flash in, but unfortunately it's a little bit too deep. That means that Ricky still has the view on Jitter, and he tags him down to 11 through that box. But Wiz is boosted up on the box towards short as well. That's one that you don't see too often. Usually it's a boost on the corner that you see. It's still a good flash, though, but it doesn't matter. He hits a really nice flick. Thankfully, though, for Order, he does get traded immediately. Hex is here as well, to at least show some presence. Not as of yet, though. Order. Oh, that Vexite and Ustillo do great work there to make the jump on the Xbox. In fact, all 3 players make jump on the Xbox without their legs being spotted. With the smoke being up, of course. Shot will re-smoke the mid doors, but now that has been heard by Ustillo. So I think they're probably aware, RBG, that Order have made their way up towards short. 50 seconds to go. The play's coming in.
Yeah, Molly's dropped a little bit too late to stop the entire push, although it does separate a couple of players, keeping them back on short and, well, ensuring that this bomb carrier now is not going to have a lot of help. Can Hex get the angle to spam it down, indeed, stopping that bomb from being planted, allowing now for the flank of Walco to come in and to just clean it up, basically. Ustillo's left alone. He will actually catch that kill on the player behind, but I don't think there's much more that's going to come his way, and indeed, Hex just positions himself up on the ramp there, takes a headshot and gives 9 rounds to RBG, who have started to take the momentum, as you can see here on Dust2 now. It is, in fairness, a map that shifted back a little bit towards the CT side since the change up with the M4 and the Deeg and such, and obviously with the massive change up in towards Suicide with not being able to look down mid anymore. So I don't think it's done for Order quite yet, but they're going to need at least 2 of these final 3 rounds, I think, if they're to be even somewhat happy with this half.
It's been a weird game so far. I mentioned how this one was pretty hard to call, right? And we just had to go by our predictions about how well RBG played Overpass yesterday, right? But Order came out firing, with it being the first map of the day. Perhaps RBG getting a little bit caught flat-footed. And now we're seeing them warmed up into Dust2 and could easily take Order's map pick away as well. And with Nuke as a decider, as we've spoken about, that one really could go either way. I'd love to see that, to be honest. Nuke decider. I think this series at this point already deserves it with how these two teams have been playing. And there's that jump toe Molotov coming in again, I believe, to stop a lower push. And they only go toward the B tunnels with that, so that's it's the thought process behind it for sure. I'm going to try and go for a bit of a B execute here. There are 2 players here though, Jitter and Chop, and they have all counter utility ready and raring to go for this. Chop can peek off the angle. He's going to be a lot further ahead though, and Jitter whiffs his spray hugely, not helped by the flashbang. It's now all Chop, but he's not going to expect Usilo just camping the car. And now Walko has to hit some shots here. Good flash to come in to help him out for 1, but it's a great P250 tap from Valiance to recover it. Jump through Incendio can come in to try and delay this bomb plant a little bit further, and more damage is coming in from Hex through the smoke. Valiance will go down. Bomb has not yet been planted, so it gives them a chance to recover this, and Usilo is only 14 HP. Both have defuse kits. It's all down to Ricky in this situation, really, and he doesn't have armor, so it's going to be a rough one either way. Taking their time. RBG, there's an AWP in the window as well to recover when this round is over, if they win it for either team. He's looking to creep in now. Does he get the timing? Ricky's holding that headshot angle just behind Big Box. That can be incredibly powerful, and it works out for both kills. That is so hard to find if you're a CT. We know how hard B is to retake, and Ricky takes advantage of it. Big round win for Order. That could set them up for a 9-6 half. Look at that economy, Dean.
Damn, okay, yeah, they do it off the back of the round where they really shouldn't be getting much done. It does seem like B has been a bit of a weakness, though. The early rounds when they were able to find their success was over towards B. Even some of the closer rounds they had when they were on some ecos and such tended to be on that side of the map, so I'm wondering if it's something they'll focus towards now or not. Not at the moment, anyway. A spawn towards long sends Ricky in that direction. And they haven't actually beaten out the scout there from the opposing side. Just kind of warns them off the angle with a shot, and that should allow for the control to pretty easily be taken. They'll push forward. There is still 1 player at least who's set up to hold for any sort of a flank coming through, and he's very likely to spot when they're in towards tunnels if Chop doesn't slow it down. At this point, I think Chop's just going to tuck in aggressive in tunnels and allow for them to take that gamble to stack things towards A/mid.
Yeah. I mean, of course, with RBG choosing to force here as well, you can understand why. I think their money was a little bit split up, so just it's a little bit risky, of course. If you lose this one, you're going to have basically exactly the same buy for the last round, and probably without Jitter's M4 as well. So looks like we could be set for a 9-6, as we say. But weird things have happened in this game, and with Walker playing around the smoke with a 5-7, we've seen him do some great stuff on that pistol so far in this game. He has got the angle above it, but that smoke's going to fade pretty soon. 45 seconds to go. Order just waiting around this CT smoke, and that's a really nice play. Actually, I really like that. They can get the way onto the site. That is perfect from them. A great scout shot from Wiz. I think that's all they're going to be able to do. Jitter gets a quick trade with that M4 toward Usilo, but they do have the bomb site. Jitter will rotate round. Wiz will now leave the situation to grab an AK, and he can actually peek ahead of this Molotov, can Jitter, but no. He doesn't want to risk it. And now this is a chance for RBG to either retake now, if Wiz gets a pick toward long, or pull back and save the rifles, and I think that might be the call already.
Well, yeah, considering Jitter's just chilling with his knife out, I think that's the call that's being made indeed. 5 on the board for Order, 6 is still a possibility. This wasn't really looking too likely just a couple of rounds back, so they've done a good job here to recover it. But still, I think 9 is a position that RBG can be happy with on their CT side here of Dust2, no matter what. I don't think their T side will be suffering too much from the fact that they don't play the map quite as often as Order do, just because it is still Dust2. It's one that I'm sure they're more than familiar with.
For sure. just like
And
to
so
say,
far, we've also got to note they've been good with pistols on the pistol rounds
yeah,
themselves.
yeah, for sure. Sorry to cut over you there. I just one thing I wanted to pick out from that last round as well, by the way, is Order. I think they had what 3 players sitting in those cross smokes on long A there. And that was actually, I really liked that. I think that was a really smart idea, because if there's a player in CT just expecting, you know, there either to be players crossing or so and so, it's you don't necessarily expect as that smoke to fade to see 3 players in front of you. So I kind of sealed the round in the end, in that one pick. I'm talking about stealing around. Order have made their way up toward middle very, very quickly, and Jitter needs at least 2, but he's not going to get more than that when there are so many people in the open. Wiz does at least get 1, and it does drop the bomb in the open, and that's the key factor that allows Chops to come in on this quick flank. But the bomb was recovered by Ustilo very quickly indeed. It's now all down to him and Jyra to hold a 2v3. We've seen them hold tougher situations than this. It don't have any retake utility really at all. In fact, none at all for RBG. Jyra's going to go looking for one, but Walko still hits the shot, and that could be the key one. If they just stick with the crossfire on the site, surely that's the better way to go. But right now, it's all down to Ustilo. Gets the first spray down to 48 though. Can he do any more? He's dropped on by Hexed. It's a really important round win to finish off this half for RBG. They'll win it out 10-5 and have a chance to get themselves to a 3rd map. We'll see if that's a reality after the break.
All right, everyone, welcome back for the second half here of Dust2. It was RBG who were able to close it out with that final round of the half, but Order were able to get a bit of a recovery going at least into those final few rounds, bringing it back towards 5 and giving themselves a position where at least off the back of this pistol round, they could start a comeback.
Yeah, absolutely, Dean. I'm looking forward to seeing how the second half plays out. This one's slightly now favouring for me a map 3 decider, and I'd love to see that between these two teams. It would be a pretty bang-up matchup. Chop has got the utility of smoke. Wiz has got a couple of flashes as well, and already a few smokes and other bits and pieces of utility have been deployed by Walker, I believe, try and get themselves up toward Cat. We're going to see that right now. Ustilo has the defuse kit for Order. And Gyra's pushed toward long. In fact, he's pushed all the way through long doors, and he could catch some players in the back here, but shooting players in the back with a USP is so tough. He does get one, though, and he gets the information. Smart not to go for more. 5v4 to work with. RBG going to resort back toward middle. Valence is going to get caught off a little bit, aiming toward tunnel. He does more work. Good frag toward Jitter. Now more needs to come through. Vexax back toward Carl. They know where he is. They double peek him perfectly. Great teamwork from RBG, but Chop is found by Ricky in middle. 3 versus 2 retake, and they have that kit available on Ustilo.
Ooh, a little bit of a dink through the door onto Hex. It's never easy, though, to get back into this bomb site. As you said, at least working with a kit to give them that bit of extra time. But there's going to need to be some great shots hit on the way forward. Hex has to deal with the man coming in from tunnels. He's not able to do it. And even if Walco got a kill or two, even the first kill, rather, as they were coming through the door, they had the double peek ready, rather, in from tunnels as well. So well done on the retake from Order. They are able to bring themselves up to 6 rounds. It was a little bit back and forth for a while there. Looked like it could have went either way. There was some strong entries on B itself. Obviously, Order able to deal with the lurker in on mid. That's what really let them set themselves up with an advantage. The bomb did go down, so I don't think we're going to see too much being bought, it doesn't look like. Happy enough to take 1 eco, come out into this next round then with really everything they could ask for. And it's understandable with them already having a pretty solid lead like this. If RBG can just get going in that first gun round, then they can very quickly brush off the pistol and just pretend it didn't really happen.
Look at this boost. Ricky getting pushed up toward the edge of Xbox there. That's so smart. I love that. I've actually seen 2 or 3 really innovative and smart plays from Order on Dust2 so far. We've seen, I mean, they're not new, right? But they're stuff that works very, very handily on the way Dust2 plays out these days. We've got that, that jump throw Molotov from T-Spawn. We've had the little sit in the cross smokes on long A. Now we're seeing that boost up toward Xbox, that fast boost as well. Up against the pistols. It's working out pretty nicely for them. Should get them this 7th round on the board. But of course, as you say, it is just an eco for RBG. They are taking their time. I like that decision. Not going in for the force buy, as you so often see with that bomb plant, of course. Maybe going for a full buy with Galils and maybe a dropped AK. They're taking their time, and they're taking their time to get this buy in right now with plenty of utility available as well. Wiz will have his AWP. They'll have everything they want and a chance to take down Order, especially with the fact they still have 3 FAMASs on their side.
Yeah, as you said, winning this one, I mean, it's not really the full bonus approach either, so it's not one that Order can afford to lose out on. Good entry from the up already there of Wiz, but Ustilo at least returning 1, and he's called in Ricky as well to help out, but it's FAMASs across the board. Not really the weaponry, rather, that you want to be working with. And as you can see at range, it's not going in their favor. Ustilo forced out of position by the mollies. He actually gets a second. Vexite doing a good job as well to pick up 1. But the numbers with the trades back and forth have remained in favor of RBG, leaving only Valiant standing. He's got a good bit of time at least to work with. He might actually get caught even by Walco, who's in towards suicide currently. And indeed, spotting the head. The FAMAS again, though, does the job. As a quick burst comes in, obviously confirming that the A bomb site itself is going to be open for Wiz, so he can start pushing in to try and get that bomb down. And Molly as well should hold Valiant's back on short for now. As it comes into the one-on-one, this is such a crucial round for both of these teams, especially for Order, and he's just not able to do anything. Wiz on the up is ready for a quick peek in, a quick snatch up of the kill, and an 11th round for RBG. Sure, it's just by the skin of their teeth, But they do manage to win it. That's the most important thing. With it being so close, though, it does prompt Order to buy up what they can. Even though it's going to have some weaknesses, they're still able to get out all of the M4s, even if that was only going to be 4. They actually got all 5 of them. And then a few nades behind it as well. So they have a chance to try and return this one. And they could even force the eco out of RBG just by winning this round.
Exactly, because as you say, they only win that round with 1 player alive, right? Just Wiz getting that final frag with the AWP. And yeah, that was really good. From Wiz. He played that one perfectly in the end. But they made the FAMAS look like a bit like the best gun in the game, really. A couple of those frags in that previous round. You see those somehow getting 2 from Pit. And Valiant's getting that lovely double tap as well toward Walko. And this is the big swing round now coming in. Order are broken if they lose this one, and so are RBG. The maximum amount of cash they have in the bank for RBG is hexed on 1150. And they're already going to throw in the pre-smokes towards short. It will delay them a little while longer, though, as that incendiary comes in. So they seem to be aware, Order, of what exactly is going on here. But thankfully, Ustillo, he will be able to reposition toward Goose. There's a flash primed as well to help out his teammates. But right now, he's under a lot of pressure. Can he get more done? 2 frags would be nice. Walker will walk in, but thankfully, Wiz on the AWP does trade it. That's what the MAC-10 is designed to do. They run in first and open up the site. They will do exactly that. And with no kit in a 4 versus 4, this is going to be a very, very hard retake.
Yeah, no real utility either, apart from a couple of flashes, which are already going to be tossed out. Wiz able to catch 1 player moving up from the spawn, and well, despite the head being spotted for now, the trade not going to be found. They may even want to consider the save. As I say that, they start doing some serious damage, so that's going to push them forward. But how is this going to work out for them? Apparently, Vexite, with him getting a double, there is a little bit of a chance right now. A swing forward as well, and Chop's head is gone. What is up with Vexite in this game right now? He's not, obviously, since I don't get to cover the Australian teams too often, he's not a player I'm incredibly familiar with, but he's just been hopping off. He has his rounds. He may not be getting a 4K or whatever, but 2s and 3s seems to be what his kills come in, and in pretty consistent fashion as well. In a very crucial round, it looked like it was lost. It's by the skin of their teeth that the defuse even comes in, even with him popping off like that.
That was huge. That was really huge. I love that retake in the end. I mean, they did so much damage, so they decided, okay, let's stick around and actually give this a go, right? It'll be very, very close, but we have to give it a go after all this damage we've done. And it's a critical one to win, as I said. That's why they went for it. They knew what it would give them. It would give them around against these pistols. They need to be careful. Ustillo needs a multi-kill here, and he will get it. It drops the bomb. Chigara helps out towards short, and Ustillo gets his 3rd. So yeah, that's the reason they gambled it. They knew that if they won the round, they had a great chance of getting back another one directly after. If they lost it, they knew it would be an eco anyway, so may as well take the gamble. And it really was a fantastic retake. I think the USP shot from Vexite for his 3rd as well. As we've said, he's been pretty quiet in this game so far, but you know, on map 1 he was insane. And it doesn't matter if you can show up for impact frags in the middle of the game, even if you are having a rough one. English is hard sometimes. And it will be a timeout coming in here for RBG just at the right time, right? This is only their first, and they now need to make a call because they're going to have a bye, but it's one they need to win to stabilize a bit after losing that 4v4.
Yeah, it's a pretty good time to call it in. They do obviously have the money still to buy. It'll cost them everything, so definitely when you want to get that pause through, losing this one rather will allow for Order to likely tie things up at 11-11. This is what we said kind of going into that half-time. That 5 isn't ideal, but if you can win out the early pistol, if you can get going with the early gun round as well going in your favor, things can very quickly narrow down into a close game once again, and that's exactly what we see. The tag though onto Ricky. Gets knocked down to 46. Ustillo's going to swing in, and he doesn't have any success initially. It's Valiant instead who's good for the 1, but there's multiple T's now pushing out on long. But somehow they're not going to be able to deal with the players in on the corner, and the flashes are perfect. Jira swings through for his 2nd. Bit of an upgrade even on towards the M4, and suddenly Wiz is left alone. He knows one man's over on long. And I don't think they're quite aware of the damage they've done onto Ricky, but this could definitely help him out. Unfortunately, he's not looking in the right direction as he works his way out mid. That's going to be 10 rounds now on the board for Order, and yeah, as I said, they should be tying it up at 11-11. Only a few pistols is what I see in the future here for RBG. They've actually decided to call in another pause. I can back this.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, right? Because again, no situation. It's 11-10. What do you do in this situation? You've got 3.6 on Walker. You've got 3.3 on Chop. You can get pistols, armor. I would say pistols, armor, and utility is probably the best way they can go about this. It looks like that's what they're going to go for. But they can't afford to buy down too low. Of course, their loss bonus is at 3,400, so they can probably go down to 1.5 if they really want, to be fair. Except for Wiz, of course, who probably want the future AWP. But yeah, this is important stuff from Order. As you say, surviving with 2 players alive. Slowly building it up now themselves. Ricky's having a decent game again. Jyra had a few very important frags on overpass, but it was a little bit more quiet on that map. Now he's solidly keeping up with Ustillo. Even now, right, the round started and they're still switching around utility and spawn, so it seems like they needed that pause for sure.
Yeah, you're not really going to complain about the pause if you're on the other side. Usually, it can obviously be a little bit breaking on the momentum, but overall, you're getting the time as well to have a bit of a chat and to maybe switch things up if you want to, or just maybe know some other weaknesses that you've spotted. Walco, okay, he loses most of his health to the fire there. Unfortunately, this can be the straight up B hit. It did actually pull a player out of the bomb site itself for a couple of seconds. Sadly, not long enough for them to actually get their way into B itself. And in the end, there's no kills to come through, despite a couple of players being heavily tagged up. Not able to get those finishes. We're tied at 11-11. RBG, they had, again, a massive lead at one point in this map and have let things slip away. And obviously, Order already up by a map after stealing away Overpass are now getting into a position where I think RBG are going to be sweating.
For sure. And don't forget, it was a 10-5 half. RBG have only found 1 T round so far. It's pretty scary for them. He's looking for the angle toward mid, possibly to go for a duel. But the smoke will allow Order once again a bit of progress past it. To hold a tight angle if anyone wants to advance toward mid. There's a good amount of utility for both teams this time, of course, especially for RBG. It's important they got that, and there's the pick. Wiz finds Vexite. That could be crucial for their progress in this round. And as you say, at 11-11 as well, it's getting to the nitty-gritty now.
It's not really slowing it down too much, though. Considering they've only got that long control as well, they want to just move quickly before any potential flanks can come in, before Order can reclaim any sort of info about what's going on. And, well, through the smoke, Wiz is going to rip off Ustillo's head. I'm not sure exactly how that worked out. Maybe a little bit of luck on the timing as he clicks mouse 1, but either way, a great entry onto the bomb site. And despite there being some money there for Order, I don't think it's around where they can really justify just throwing those weapons away on a 3-on-5 retake. So you can see in terms of the 2 players back on B, they never even bothered to leave, and yeah, Jerry's on his way back over as well, so that they can just go ahead and save the weaponry. They'll have plenty for a buy to come back in, but it will cost them a decent amount. They'll have to rebuy the nades even on the players who do survive.
Yeah, so as you say, this is absolutely the right call. The fact that they have a good amount of money, as you say, which could have justified going for it, it's a much better choice to do it at this stage of the game as well, especially at a tied game. Say there are, what, say it was a 4-round lead or something for Order at this stage, you'd say, okay, maybe give this a go. But it's so tight right now. You need everything you could possibly have into the next round. And with 7k, of course, after the loss bonus comes in on 2 players, makes the buy very comfortable indeed, and probably gives them a buy after this as well. So it's they're thinking of the long game right now, and I don't blame them. They need to. They're on the edge of possibly taking a best-of-3 victory in this EPL conference. A reminder that whoever wins this game goes through to face LDLC in the next round of the lower bracket. Whoever loses is out of a chance to make Pro League. 3 spots, don't forget. We discover some of those spots being decided, I think, tomorrow and Saturday.
A little bit of a jump across the bit out the up shots from Ustillo. Nothing crazy in the beginning of this round being done, other than the fact that Order have decided to actually rotate 2 players over to join up with Valiance on B, so they've got a 3-man stack right now. Is this them expecting a change-up after Order have lost a round, maybe? Thinking that perhaps B is where they'll want to bring it. For now, though, there's no real clear indication of where it's going to be, where RBG, rather, are going to be trying to end things. So we'll have to see how Order now, how they react to the remainder of this round. It actually does seem like they might start focusing in towards middle. So this might end up working out.
Problem is, though, that Order haven't changed their setup, right? They've got 1 outside B, 2 in B. If they're going to go for a mid to B, this is probably the best setup you could hope for Order. It'll be down to RBG to hit the shots. They're going to take mid with the smokes up as well, and Vexite will have to retreat. But will they be able to find one of these players up close? They need at least 1 here, Gyra. He gets 1.5. It's not too bad, but he might need more than that. Valiance is on the site. Will he be found first? He does. Great frag from Walco, but now Vexite can be activated. Another double kill. That's probably double digits on double kills now in this game for him. But it does recover it into a 2 versus 2. This is one that Order will most certainly be going for. Wiz and Ricky are still up. It'll be AWP v AWP. And AK versus Silenced M4. Can they get into this site? They have some flashes to work with. They can send Ustilo, or at least Ricky can help out with Ustilo's flashes. Pick perhaps toward the back of site, but no, the flash is well timed, but Wiz just pulls the trigger anyway, and now it's all Ustilo, and I think they know where he's coming from. This is basically impossible for the Australian veteran. He will catch one on the retreat. It actually catches the second, the information on the second anyway, but it means he has to fall away. There's no time left for the defuse, or at least an attempt, and he will grab the AWP and save it, and both AWPs will be taken into the next round, but RBG are creeping ever closer.
Yeah, as you said, Chop got that one to throw back over to Wiz right there, but importantly, more so, it was Ustilo who was able to recover one as well, because it allows Ricky to easily drop over the M4 to, I believe it was Vexite who had to take it. They get all of the nades they could ask for really behind this as well, and they still have another full buy here. So you can clearly see the 6 or so rounds that Order picked up early on the CT side done well to build the economy, but they're just about to lose out on that. And again, Ricky gets tagged on the crossover. Not the first time, it's actually the second time he's been tagged down to exactly 46, I believe. So it's not a great start into the round for Order, and one that they very much do need to win. We're seeing a bit of a change up in terms of having a player aggressive up on short. You've got Vexite ready in towards the mid doors then as well, if needed to help out. But RBG are fully focused on making this a B hit.
And this time, it would be a bang-on call. Valiance is on the site, needs probably 2 from his position to make it interesting for Order. Thankfully, Ricky is outside the doors, and they're actually not going to get smoke down toward the doors as of yet. They're going to peek before it goes up, and that could be a problem. Ricky gets his one, and he can peek aggressively from window for a second too. And the amount of damage that it was done by Valiance, putting Hex down to 1 HP, has recovered this one. Right-click Molotov comes in to try and force him away, and they're going to try and take their time over this one. They need to. They realise this is a great shot in this round now. And I'm sure Valiance will call over that he's done so much damage to Hex too. I tried to get a flash in, but in the end, Chop gets taken down, and it's all down to that 1 HP of Hex. Surely just maybe 1 kill would be the best he can do, but he can't even get that. Vexite takes him down, and it will be 12 for Order. Wait for the Molotov, be careful, and get that bomb defused. And we're going to have a very tight game once again. RBG with the bomb plant should have a buy. It'll be a good buy at that as well, as you can see. But yeah, this is a fascinating end to Dust2 right now, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, who even knows if the end is coming yet? With how back and forth it's been, this could maybe even be an overtime matchup. Who knows at this stage? I wouldn't complain if that's where we headed. I don't think I'd complain either if we do get the nuke, as I was saying, with that being one where it's more of a middle ground for both teams. And I think we can see it be maybe not the most strategic nuke we've ever seen, but an entertaining one for sure, I would imagine it will be. We'll have to see, though, because, of course, RBG, while they do have the advantage in rounds for now, they've still a bit of a ways to go before they actually do confirm a third map. Order up onto 12 after a clean round there, obviously, in the previous, with a smooth retake. Flash in towards long, just trying to keep those T's busy for now. Slow down that default as much as you can, and in the meantime, Order themselves have got aggressive in towards lower and up short, so they've got a bit of a pincer movement, I suppose, in towards middle. We'll see what actually comes of this. I think they're going to be waiting for a while and just hoping that someone comes in this direction rather than continuing with any sort of aggression for info.
Yeah, And I mean, you talk about the possibility, right, of an exciting nuke. It's actually been a pretty exciting Dust2 so far. And I don't know about you, Dean, personally, but I don't. There's not many Dust2s which are genuinely exciting and interesting. They can often be a bit of a, even since the change, they can often be a bit of a drab, I guess you could say. But this one's been not anywhere near that at all. Ricky got the angle toward Car. Wiz is about to peek him. There's going to be a flash coming in, and Molotovs as well. Will he get his frag? He spots the gun barrel of Jitter, and he waits to try and get it. A smoke from a teammate will help him out as well. Keeps him alive toward Car, but surely he'll be overwhelmed. Flash coming in to try and help out. There's a player on the site, and there's a player CT as well. But they refuse to advance past this Molotov because they know Ricky's still there and could be getting some more frags. And there we go. He gets another one. Ustillo takes Jitter as well. What about a timing this is from Ricky to pop off. We love to see that. And Chop now has to save. 17 seconds to go. He did make his way through to the B site, I believe, to try and clear it out and maybe say, okay, I've got B guys, call you over. But there was never going to be any time for that. Possibly a long flank was the only idea, and already Vexite's looking for him. Could even take him down after time. Going to be pretty close. Chop is going to stay hidden, though. He'll be spotted, though. Oh, my goodness. That was a mixture of a grenade and some damage there. Just about surviving. The last tick of the round coming in. Dean, it's 13 all, and RBG only got one timeout left. They're using one right now.
Yeah, I mean, 13 considered an unlucky number, but it can't be unlucky for both of them, so... It's been unlucky, though, for the boys on RBG since they've got stuck there. So maybe now that Order have also got themselves on on the mysterious number. Perhaps they can finally get themselves up one. Nah, I'm just being crazy now. This is how I wasted the pause times.
Exactly,
but,
exactly.
Down to a one timeout remaining. We've had them being pretty liberal with these pauses so far. They chained a couple of them together earlier on, rather, in back-to-back rounds. And now that they're getting back onto the guns again, they know that they need to try and switch things up. They need to make sure that this is where they start winning it. Although they're actually not going to be getting onto the guns. It's only Chop who's got himself the AK saved over, of course. Wiz could have bought, but other than that, everyone was a bit short, so they decided against it, understandably. So it's very likely going to be still 13 for RBG after this round. But can they at least make it a close one? Can that AK to get some damage done and give them an opportunity then to maybe still break down that economy of Order and send themselves up towards the win?
Yeah, I mean, they can risk as well. I mean, they actually haven't bought down as much as I thought they would, to be fair. I think Jitter could have possibly got himself some Kevlar if he wanted to, because they do have full loss bonus at 3,400. So, they're going to take it slowly. They want everything possible for the upcoming round. And, of course, you don't need to buy down fully to what you expect to get in the next round, because all the pieces of economy for the future all count, especially at this stage of the game. And as you say, can they get Chop's AK into the action? 13 to 13. It's quite literally anyone's right now. You'd expect Order to reach 14, but we've seen crazy things happen in this game. Thankfully, that's an expected outcome for Ricky. Takes down Chop on that AK. Now we'll be past the parcel with that AK. Jitter will pick it up next. Try and have his turn. Flash couldn't get that AK into a position to get that first kill. They do have a utility going into B here, and they're going to try it. Player close up, that is Vexite, but Gyro's cheeky through the smoke. And it's going to be a really nice clean-up. Jitter gets 2 quick-fire headshots, though. Really nice shots from him. You will be able to get a bomb plant, so that's even more money for the next round.
Yeah, really not a bad find. And I mean, being in on the B bomb site with an AK, these choke points, it's definitely still winnable. I've seen 1-on-3s in this position time and time again. Is it too much to ask? Maybe. I don't know if the nerves will get to him and have him jittering a little bit, perhaps. Hooked in, though. He has been spotted, of course, already tagged up a little bit. And, well, they just make sure that they swing together. Ricky doesn't even bother with the op. He wants the gun that can rattle off bullets just a little bit quicker. So, at the very least, he's serving as a distraction, even if they're not landing.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's only the 3rd time we've used Jitter could have jitters in this game so far. Don't worry about it. We'll probably use it once more. Yeah, we'll use it once more and then we'll leave it for the day. Don't worry about it. It's been overused now. I think I've used it twice and you've used it a couple of times as well.
Oh, I thought that was 170 ADR. I was like, that can't be right with 22 kills, but no, I read it wrong. 86 ADR, that makes way more sense. It was 170 damage in that previous round.
Gotcha, yeah. And as you say, now Order are just 2 away. This will be a fantastic victory for them in a series where the veto honestly looked like it could favour RBG a decent amount, considering they did have Overpass as their sort of fallback pick coming in. With it being the first map of the day, I would say a little bit cold. They showed up nicely on the first half of Dust2, but Order have come back really nicely. Mostly thanks to Ricky on his AWP as well. He's been doing some great work in these positions. A good opening pick from Wiz, though. Will take Vexite down. One of the key factors for Order in this series so far. Looks like they'll be boosting up 2 players toward the A site, and that could be perfect. They're going to be caught in the open, though, if they're not careful, because they're actually walking up long right now. Gyro's just going to be in the open. Well, they're going to work this one out. Ricky somehow gets that flick, but Gyro will go down, and the fact they weren't prepared for that at all makes it impossible to deal with. Valiant and UCLO trying to answer back. There's no secondary smoke coming in yet, so that's a bit of an overzealous peek from Jitter. They actually don't have it available, so that's why. They're having to use the Molotovs to cross, using the Molotov smoke. It makes sense. It's the only thing they can do. Because of that, they're out of utility now for this site hold, so it gives Ustilo and Valiance a chance still.
Yeah, I mean, they've got money to justify at least taking that chance. So I would imagine they're going to give this a go, a bit of utility as well. A molly, even in the hands of Valiance. That HE doesn't have too much damage, unfortunately, and the molly is not going to be forcing anyone out of position, so this is not looking easy. Already, Ustilo gets cut down, and yeah, I don't think Valiance really, it's worth it for him to just throw the AUG away. He may as well save it over. It can allow them to drop over to Vexai, who is the one man whose economy will be a little bit on the weaker side. But a good round from RBG. Strong pickup early on the op as well to kick things off and just capitalizing well off of that advantage. If they win this one out, then there won't be a lot of money in the bank for Order to try and actually fight for an overtime. The same, I guess, not to be said the other way around. There'd maybe be 1 or 2 players who'd be low on money, but there is at least something there for RBG if they were to lose this. Obviously, though, they still don't want to lose it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting either way, I think, because Ustilo still has 3k in the bank, right? So I think it's going to be worse for the CT side than it would be for the T side. But still, I'd have something in the next round if they do go on to lose this. But yeah, right now we're guaranteed round 30 in this second map of this series. The nerves are going to start to kick in. Whoever loses is eliminated. Whoever wins goes through to play against LDLC in this lower bracket, the next round of the lower bracket. Gyro creeping up towards short. There's a smoke here in play. Walker and Hexter here, though. And as the smoke fades, again, sitting in the smoke as it fades usually is the better option. And they'll be doing just that. And because of that, I think Gyro realizes it and falls away. So that's all down to Ricky. On the short angle, there's going to be a flash that will come in. He takes the timing shot, but misses it. It's usually the usual sort of trade you see on Dust2. Like it's a trade of positioning and control. Ustilo has a really powerful position toward the close long doors angle, though, so that could easily work out for one if his timing is right. Ricky sticking around on the angle, 40 seconds to go. No one's biting yet. You can feel the tension, right?
And no one wants to be the man to die first and to potentially be the one to lead to a round loss. Neither team wanting to give anything away. Ricky, he doesn't land it. A little bit off, apparently. I'm not sure if the jump maybe even saved the man on the other side right there, but it's going to be a very quick move now in through mid. There's not a lot of time, though, for RBG. A few kills. If they could drop this bomb, that could do it for them. They're absolutely decimating the push through door and window as those choke points just don't work out for RBG, and the bomb itself is even dropped out in mid, so there's no hope for Jitter. Decides to just charge through the smoke because you may as well give it a go at that stage, but he's not able to do anything about it. It's 15 for Order as they put themselves a single round away from victory, away from eliminating RBG and sending them home. Which, again, is not something that we like to see happening to either of these teams. It's the nature, though, of being in this lower bracket.
Absolutely. It's been a fascinating game so far. I've really enjoyed this one, it has to be said. And, yeah, now a great chance for Order to get this one through. Wiz is again going for his mid pick. Takes the shot, but misses that player crossing. RBG have taken along a little bit faster this time. This is what has worked out for them quite a lot, to be fair, on this T side. I mean, I say a lot. They only won 4 rounds. They did have a 10-5 CT half, but don't worry, we didn't see that. No problem. A little bit of a misjudged flash there, but it's fine. And yeah, so I would say long has been slightly more lucky for them. So this looks like it could be the correct call. Yeah, it's now all down to this with the round 30. It's either overtime or a victory for Order. 3 players are here toward A. The crossbokes are going to come in, and in we go. Up long as soon as they bloom. Shifting up, actually. Not going to run in too quickly. Matis Indio will delay them a little bit further. So Ricky's in position towards the Gandalf angle, the get right angle. And now they're going to quick pass the smoke. Here we go, Dean.
Oh, very well timed on the flash turn return from the CT side. No one going to be caught with it, though. Again, everyone's tucking in, waiting to take that first fight for a while. Ricky actually doesn't land right there, apparently. He's just going to try and be a nuisance at this point. That looks like he's actually able to play a bit around the smoke. The flash in for Jira as RBG just continue to hold, playing this so passively and waiting for Order to make the mistakes. And that's exactly what's happened. Ricky's the only man to have returned a frag to the 3 of RBG so far, and in the open with the op, although he gets away with 1 more, there's not much to be done. It's all on Vexai. He's had many multi-frags, but he's going to need to do it now with the pressure mounting, and he's not able to deal with that upper over on long. Wiz is going to shut him down, and there it is. We're going to have an overtime, guys. Before we get into that, though, we are going to have to send it over to a little bit of a break, so stick with us.
No need to go again. I don't comprehend and I do not pretend, cause when I'm coming is to win. No guts, no glory, not a part of my story. I'm going hard for that trophy, it's why they all been on me. No guts, no glory, there's no need to go again. I don't comprehend and I do not pretend, cause when I'm coming is to win. From the back roads to back streets, I see you foes trying to trap me, but I don't run like a track meet, even though I'm #1 like an athlete. And the way I maneuver around you and through you, I'm coming and I'm bound to pursue you. I'm everything that you knew of, plus more. What's in store is I'm about to get to you. Sleepless nights, better think this twice before you step to me and come and speak with strife. There's a lesson when you breach my life. It'll be chin-checking and I'll teach you right. Plenty tried, plenty failed. Too many times I've seen plenty bail. And there will be no surprise what I'm about to do when you are looking through my eyes. See many go, see many come. Seen that they won't bring it to me, son. Try me if you want, but won't be any fun. I'll take the challenge, I'll beat anyone. I'm the one, I'll be quite clear. Bow down to no one, I'm right here. I get it in, I don't fight fair. And guess what? I'm your worst nightmare. Cause I ain't taking no losses, and I don't even care what the cost is. Are you prepared for the forces I'm about to bring? Cause I'm the boss of all bosses. I penetrate your thoughts and fill them with doubt. You gon' feel where I'm coming and feel what I'm about. If they come in with the drama, I'm wheeling them out. Cause I ain't about to have somebody here stealing my clout. I keep my friends close, enemies closer. Cause that's the way it is and the way it's supposed to be. Anybody can see there's only room for one, and that one is me. Plenty tried, plenty failed. Too many times I've seen plenty bail. And there will be no surprise what I'm about to do when you are looking through my eyes. See many go, see many come. Seen that they won't bring it to me, son. Try me if you want, but won't be any fun. I'll take the challenge, I'll beat anyone. I'm the one, I'll be quite clear. Bow down to no one, I'm right here. I get it in.
We are back with the overtime, guys. It was a rough one. Neither team able to be separated during the regulation. It seemed like for a while maybe that RBG were on track for the victory, but Order were able to strike back hard in that second half. And now you've got to wonder with the issue of economy, I suppose, being kind of taken out of the question now. Will they be able to get this done here on their CT side of the OT?
Yeah, Dean, it'll be really curious, right? I'm fascinated to see how it turns out because we saw the B holds coming in so successfully for Order, but RBG's A play, and especially that round to get them to overtime, was so smart and so patient as well. I'm really impressed by the resilience of RBG and the sort of decision they made on that final round as well. The hold, the three-man hold towards CT, maybe expecting Order to go aggressive, and the patience was really impressive in general. In such a high-tension situation. Hex has got the spawn toward long, so he's going to go for a pick with this AWP, of course, with it being 16k overtime in this event, I believe. We do have the opportunity to go for a second AWP, and we'll switch back to a rifle if needed. There we go. Yeah, who will come through in this overtime? It's been such a tight game. We mentioned it at, what, 13-12, even back then? That these rounds have been going back and forth, and we could easily see an OT. Well, we're here. We could be about to see a B play coming in from RBG. Ricky is back plat right now with the AWP, but surely he'll be smoked off / flashed off in a second. He'll jump back toward the back of the site. He does have support. There are two outside the B tunnels, and now he might need that help. He's back toward the back of the site now. The flashes are so good. He's in trouble now. He needs some help, but already Balance has been taken down, and the execute is perfect from RBG. Chop even spots the traces of Gyra through the smoke. Now it's all down to Ustillo and Vexite. Of course, they can afford to go for it, but they're not going to win it in a 2 versus 5. A great execute from RBG. Very impressed at that. Can they at least get themselves a lead now? First time in a while.
Yeah, it's looking like they should be theirs anyway. I mean, there's money, obviously, with it being the overtime, so Vexite and Ustillo may as well give it a go. As you can see with Jitter getting a bit more aggressive, that will give them a chance to start moving in, but it's not going to be easy. Walco up close on the smoke, and he just swings in to go ahead and clean it up for 3 kills. As he had found one of those initial entries into the bomb site as well. So a good round from RBG. That's how it goes sometimes. You struggle to you struggle to get your last few rounds, but then once you get into the OT, you're able to go ahead and kick things off on a high note. Obviously, it was RBG, though, who had to fight back into the overtime itself. They were stuck on 13 for a long while. They were on 14 then for a little while as well, and ended up being the ones who had to actually fight to survive, despite having, at the halftime, rather, had a 10-5 lead. So It's been kind of on the back foot for most of this game, but let's see, the overtime, that's where it's changing up for them, as you can see, at least with the initial round. But Chop, and a very important player for that T side, is going to be taken out there, trying to charge up short. He didn't really have any support, unfortunately.
Ooh. That was very close as well. The flash coming in, almost sending a second frag for Order. But yeah, this is what overtime could descend into, right? It could start to be a bit of a barn burner of just entering and skill right now, as we know that they've done all the strategy, but look at this lurk from Walker. Oh, they're going to have no idea. Thankfully, Valiance was there as an insurance policy. I think Vexite will be a little bit upset with Valiance that he let that one happen so easily. But at the end of the day, Vexite did get caught off not looking at tunnels at all. Valiance has fallen back, spots the first, Hex goes down, and it's all down to Wiz. That does actually tag him, but so many of these orb bullets are getting tapped through the edge of that angle, and he'll take himself a third. Important 3k. And it evens us up at 16 all. I get the impression this overtime might be going on for a while.
Yeah, this could be a bit of a longer one, potentially. We've had just a very slow game in general, with how a lot of the T rounds have been played out. It's meant that it's been a while getting to this stage. Sometimes on Dust2, you get games where teams are just straight up rushing early on towards long and such. This has not been one of those games. Even when they get the long control, they tend to slow it down afterwards for a while. And this may be one of those rounds, actually. This Hex has already got out onto the corner, holding it with the op, and I think even realizing that Order have called for a bit of counter-aggression, not only through lower, but also through upper tunnels right now. So this is going to be interesting. Chop's holding for it, but he's the only man on this side of the map right now, so if he confirms there's multiple players pushing the tunnels, it could prompt them to start pushing elsewhere. But he's only able to get the 1 kill before Ricky's good for the trade, and I think that might even leave them now unaware that Vexite could also be in towards lower.
And they could be walking into this, and there's a crossfire as well with Ustillo towards short. Oh, it's perfect. It's literally a bait and switch either way. Whoever gets to pick first, and it's worked out beautifully for Order. 2 frags from those 2 angles we mentioned. And now just Walco and Wiz remaining. Ricky with, again, also a very important trade toward the B tunnels. He's had a really good Dust2. 28 and 17 for him. He turned 30 the other day, proving age is just a number. Doing insane work for his team. Gyro's on top of the box on the side, which could be a little bit scary. We'll fall back down. And actually peeks into Wiz, so that's a little bit unneeded, I would say, from Gyro. There's not really any, not necessary at all there to peek that. Will it come back to bite them? The bomb has to be thrown over, though, and there's no smoke for the cross. It's a bit risky, but it hasn't even been recovered yet, and it's a nightmare. Oh, it's a nightmare. It's gone about the worst it could possibly go. Can you believe it? Oh, the pain of that. No smokes for the cross. Tried to throw the bomb over, and it bobbles back into the middle of the cross as well. Oh, that's pain. That is pure unadulterated pain for RBG, and it gifts Order a lead over to their T side overtime.
Yeah, it was quite rough. Sometimes when you're trying to throw things, do you forget when you're trying to drop a gun to someone in spawn and it's just like kind of very sadly just drops out of your hand and you're like, well, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Yeah, this is basically what happened with the bomb right there. So a little bit unfortunate, the leg being spotted. He actually doesn't land. It looked like the toes were going to be the target right there, as it ends up being the op of Jitter instead that kicks the round off elsewhere. Over towards the tunnels, I believe. He gets a smoke down immediately afterwards, so it was a pretty straightforward kill. As Vexite is going mad on the up in towards tunnels now, getting revenge for that previous for his teammates. I guess Phelan's in towards tunnels when he wasn't able to challenge the upper. 9 health though, so they need to be careful. This advantage is not a firm one by any means. Chop up close on mid is good for 1, but that's it. He was trapped. He could not escape.
Oh my god.
Flank as well though in from long. It's just crazy across the board.
What is going on right now? This round is absolutely mad. Vexite, his 2 AWP kills in middle, he just leapt in and somehow managed to take Walko down. Walko would be disgusted that he didn't get that kill, and Vexite took him. Angle a second as well. But now we have a 2 vs 2 after plot on the B side, and look at this hold from Valiance. They try and go aggressive quickly, do RBG, and it's not working out for them. And now it's just Wiz, and he has the AWP, which is the worst gun to retake in this scenario. He has an incendiary and a smoke, thankfully, but the incendiary will be misplaced for now. This is basically impossible to retake in this situation. He has to just jump in and hope for the best. Tries to no-scope close up, but it's never going to work. And Valiance with a heroic 3k. He's got Vexite to thank as well. And that puts them up to series point and elimination point for RBG. Order looking to get through to play LDLC in the next round of the lower bracket. Just the one away. They had a chance at 15-14. They've got 2 more now.
Yeah, to be fair, we've seen them handle that pressure in the regulation incredibly well. We were talking about how they played it by slowing things down in that final round when they were nearly on the bomb site. See now, with it being the overtime, at least one positive is their economy at least doesn't falter. They have everything they could ask for to get this done, including the double up setup between Jitter and Wiz. Jitter might have something coming towards him here in mid pretty soon. For now, though, just dropping the molly, trying to slow things down a small bit, and well, we're not seeing anything too crazy at all from Order. It's standard enough from RBG too. They've just got 1 player down in the pit, 1 then watching for the short push. It's allowed them to go a little bit heavier in on the mid presence, which makes sense considering how much Order have favored B, both in the regulation and now here in the overtime so far, as the smokes go down up close on the corner as well. It's allowing them to get in close for this split. And as you can see, RBG are not ready for this at all. Both of them tucked in on the bomb site. Tunnels as well being overwhelmed. Jitter hits the no-scope. Damn! Not able to hit the flick onto the follow-up shot then, and he's given this his best go, just millimeters off on multiple shots, as it unfortunately ends up in a 2-on-3 now. It does favour the numbers for RBG. As you can see, the time is slowly ticking away, but there's still enough here for the bomb to be tapped and for Order to just try and bait out a couple mistakes. That's the goal. They actually will eventually be forced to go ahead and stick it. They do get it down. And while there's not really too much in terms of utility for this retake either, and above the smoke, Ricky with a fantastic kill.
Oh, that's incredible. It recovers it into a 2 versus 2. This is now such a great chance for Order to close out this game. Ricky has the angle. He's hit 30 kills in this game. Can he close it out with even more? Walko and Wiz to retake. That's a great pick from Wiz, though. That's exactly what they need to do. Now it's all Valiance. He has a 1 versus 1 to send Order into the next round. Can he make it happen? He's faking out the shot. He's even got a flash to use. But Walko will catch him in time, and I think he's got time for the defuse. It's going to be really close. Very, very close, but I think he's got it. And RBG stay alive in ridiculous fashion. Goodness me, I can't believe how that played out. I thought for sure Jitter was done for on that B-side defense. Getting 1, sure, but no way he gets that second with a no-scope. No way. That is a 1 in 25 shot at least in that situation.
Yeah, no, that was
and
crazy.
And it's basically what keeps him alive, right? That's it.
But also that final one-on-one there. I mean, it looked like it was almost won. I blanked so quick. It was Valiance indeed. It was the last man. Yeah, but I think he thought at the time was basically gone. I'm not sure if he had spotted the player up on the window. Maybe he didn't because he started looking towards the tunnel side of things. Obviously expecting him to come close around the box, but he just jumped across from the window on top of the box and was able to get it done. I need the focus here now though because it's a very quick play up short, and it may not matter. It looks like Order yeah, you may have got a retake there in the previous round. We let it slip away a small bit. But it won't matter whether we win 19-17 or 19-16 as they look to bring it over the line. Jitter not able to get it done this time. Chops all alone. He kicked the series off with an ace. Can he go ahead and end it with or try and keep it alive rather with a 1-on-4 now? Probably too much to ask, but he's giving it his best right now. Burns a small bit down to 41 just to try and make it even more challenging. And as you can see, Order aren't even going to give him a millimeter, let alone an inch.
That's impossible. I'm sure he can get peeked from 2 different angles here. Gets a great headshot toward Valiance. And he actually knows where Ustillo is. What a great chance this could be. But Ustillo finally catches him in the back. And that